ancient technique so precise that reality itself was compelled to obey. This audiobook reveals the sacred technique, an exact universal power that reshapes life through certainty. You've already touched it unknowingly. Now you will master it. The Sacred Technique. Introduction. In the depths of ancient wisdom lies a truth so potent, so transformative, that those who glimpse it find their lives forever altered. You have journeyed far, seeking answers in countless places, yet the greatest power has always resided within you, waiting to be awakened. The universe operates through precise laws as exact as mathematics, as reliable as the rising sun. These laws respond not to effort or struggle, but to something far more fundamental: your command. Just as a master musician doesn't plead with their instrument to create music, but rather plays it with certainty and skill, so too must you learn to orchestrate the forces of creation. The sacred technique you are about to discover transcends mere positive thinking or visualization. It is the foundational power that shaped civilizations, built empires, and transformed ordinary individuals into beings of extraordinary influence. This knowledge has been guarded, passed down through generations, appearing in fragments throughout history's greatest teachings. What sets this technique apart is its absolute precision. It leaves no room for doubt, no space for uncertainty. When properly employed, it functions with the reliability of natural law, like gravity. It simply is. The universe doesn't choose whether to respond. It must respond, for this is the very mechanism by which reality operates. You have likely sensed this truth, felt its whispers in moments of perfect alignment when everything fell into place effortlessly. These weren't coincidences. They were glimpses of your natural state of power. The sacred technique simply makes this state accessible at will. As you turn these chapters, you will recognize a stirring within, an ancient remembering. This is not new knowledge you are gaining, but rather the unveiling of what your soul has always known. The time has come to step into your true power, to speak the language of the universe itself. Part 1. Awakening to the Hidden Forces of Creation. Chapter 1. The Ancient Power You Were Never Told About. Throughout the ages, whispers of an extraordinary power have echoed through the halls of temples and the chambers of secret societies. You have been taught that reality is unyielding, that your dreams must conform to what others call possible. Yet in my decades of studying the ancient texts and working with those who have mastered the sacred technique, I have witnessed the impossible become inevitable. Let me share with you the tale of Walter, a humble shopkeeper who stumbled upon this power in a moment of pure certainty. His small business faced imminent closure, with debts mounting and customers dwindling. One night, standing in his empty shop, Walter experienced something remarkable. Instead of his usual worry and fear, he felt an inexplicable shift within. In that moment, he saw his shop thriving with absolute clarity, not as a wish or hope, but as an irrefutable fact. What happened next defied conventional explanation. Within days, a series of coincidences transformed his circumstances. A popular social media influencer happened to visit his shop, sharing it with millions. A construction project rerouted traffic directly past his storefront. Even his competitors unexpectedly closed, sending their loyal customers his way. Walter had unknowingly activated the sacred technique, the ability to command reality through absolute certainty. He didn't plead with the universe, he simply knew, and reality reshaped itself to match his knowing. You may wonder why such knowledge remains hidden. The answer lies in the very nature of power. Those who discovered this truth throughout history often kept it concealed, understanding that the world wasn't ready for such responsibility. Modern society has built elaborate systems of belief designed to keep you dependent, doubtful, and disconnected from your true power. But now, through a simple practice, you can begin to recognize how you've already been wielding this power unconsciously. Take a moment now to recall 3 instances in your life when something you absolutely knew would happen came to pass, not hoped for, but knew with unshakable certainty. Write these moments down. Notice the distinct feeling that accompanied that knowing. This feeling is your first key to the sacred technique. This exercise will reveal patterns you've never noticed before, showing you that you've been speaking the language of creation all along, albeit in whispers. Like ancient symbols emerging from beneath layers of dust, these patterns will illuminate the profound connection between your thoughts and the reality they shape. Each instance you recall strengthens your recognition of this divine language that flows through you. Soon you will learn to speak it with the full force of your being, transforming those whispers into declarations that echo through the chambers of the universe. Chapter 2. The Universal Law That Overrides All Others. Throughout history, you have been taught that desire is the key to manifestation. The law of attraction became a beacon of hope, promising that your wishes would materialize if only you believed strongly enough. Yet something vital was missing from this teaching, a truth so fundamental that its absence has kept countless souls trapped in the cycle of hoping and waiting. The law of certainty transcends mere attraction. It operates on a higher frequency, where possibility transforms into inevitability. Margaret's story exemplifies this profound distinction. As a talented artist, she spent years visualizing success, creating vision boards and reciting affirmations. Yet true breakthrough remained elusive until one transformative morning. Standing before her canvas, Margaret experienced what the ancient masters called the shift. In that moment, she stopped seeing her success as something to attract and began experiencing it as something that already existed. Her art exhibitions weren't a hope. They were as real to her as the brush in her hand. The universe responded not to her wishes but to her knowing. Within weeks, a renowned gallery owner discovered her work. But here's what makes this story significant. Margaret felt no surprise when the gallery called, when collectors began acquiring her pieces, when international exhibitions followed. She received it all with the calm acknowledgement of someone collecting on a debt they knew would be paid. This illustrates the crucial difference between belief and certainty. Belief says, "I think this will happen." Certainty declares, "This is." Belief keeps you in a state of reaching, while certainty places you in a state of having. The universe doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to what you are. Those who seem lucky have unknowingly aligned with this law. They don't hope for outcomes. They assume them as naturally as you assume the sun will rise. Their certainty creates a resonance that reality must match, just as a tuning fork causes nearby strings to vibrate at its frequency. Now you will engage in the mental shift exercise. Close your eyes and select one desire from your life. Instead of visualizing it as something to achieve, experience it as current reality. Don't imagine it happening. Know it is done. Feel the distinction between "I want this" and "this is." Maintain this state for several minutes, noting how your body responds to this shift from seeking to having. Practice this daily, gradually extending the duration of your certainty. The goal isn't to convince yourself, it's to align with what already is. Chapter 3: Why Your Desires Have Been Blocked Until Now. In the heart of a bustling city lived Eugene, a merchant whose shop remained perpetually empty despite his ceaseless efforts to attract customers. Each morning he would stand in his doorway, watching the crowds flow past like a river avoiding a stone. He practiced visualization, repeated affirmations, and maintained unwavering faith, yet success remained elusive. What Eugene didn't understand was that his conscious efforts were being undermined by a force more powerful than desire: inherited patterns of thought. These patterns, passed down through generations, act as invisible barriers between you and your natural state of abundance. The universe responds not to what you say you want, but to the energy you emanate. When your conscious mind declares, "I am successful," while your energy field vibrates with doubt, the universe can only reflect that contradiction back to you. This is why mere positive thinking often fails to produce results. Eugene's breakthrough came when he discovered an ancient manuscript that spoke of the Great Clearing. The text revealed that manifestation isn't about adding more positive thoughts. It's about removing the obstacles that block your natural state of abundance. Just as a stream doesn't need to be taught how to flow, it simply needs the rocks removed from its path. You see, your true state is one of unlimited potential. But layer upon layer of limiting beliefs, past disappointments, and societal programming have created what the ancients called the veil of separation. This veil makes it appear as though you are disconnected from your desires, when in truth, you are one with them. The key lies not in trying harder, but in releasing resistance. Eugene discovered this when he stopped forcing positive thoughts, and instead allowed himself to feel the weight of his inherited limitations. As he acknowledged these patterns without judgment, they began to dissolve naturally, like mist in the morning sun. Now you will engage in the emotional clearing exercise. Sit in silence and bring to mind a desire that has eluded you. Rather than pushing for positive feelings, allow yourself to notice any resistance that arises. Where do you feel it in your body? What thoughts accompany it? Don't try to change these sensations. Simply observe them with gentle awareness. As you maintain this witnessing state, you may notice the resistance beginning to soften on its own. Continue this practice until you feel a natural shift in your energy, a lightening of the invisible burden you've carried. This is the beginning of true alignment with your desires. This process isn't about forcing change. It's about allowing your natural state of abundance to emerge. As Eugene discovered, when you clear the path, the universe flows through you effortlessly, bringing with it all that you've been seeking. Chapter 4: The Forgotten Language of the Universe. In the mountains of Tibet, a merchant named Gerald sought wisdom from a temple known for its mystical teachings. For years, he had pleaded with the universe, bargained with fate, and begged for success. His prayers were passionate, his visualizations detailed, yet his desires remained unfulfilled. You too have likely spoken to the universe in this way, through the language of want, of need, of desperate hoping. But the universe does not respond to desperation. It responds only to certainty. The temple keeper shared with Gerald an ancient truth. The universe speaks in absolutes. When light travels, it does not hope to reach its destination. It simply arrives. When rain falls, it does not question its descent, it simply falls. This is the language of creation itself. The difference between those who manifest effortlessly and those who struggle lies not in their desires, but in their tone of communication. When you speak to the universe with doubt, hesitation, or anxiety, You create static in the cosmic frequency. Your message becomes distorted, unclear, and therefore impossible to fulfill. The universe recognizes only one frequency, the tone of "it is done." Not "it will be," not "I hope," not "I wish," but the unwavering knowing that what you desire already exists. This is why masters throughout history have taught that the secret lies not in asking but in commanding. Gerald learned that his years of pleading had actually pushed his desires further away. Each desperate prayer reinforced the very lack he sought to overcome. But when he shifted his approach, when he began to speak in the language of completion, his entire reality transformed within days. You must understand, the universe is not a distant force to be persuaded. It is an extension of your own consciousness, waiting to be commanded with authority. When you speak to it, speak as though your desire is already fulfilled, not with force or aggression, but with the quiet certainty of natural law. Now you will learn to speak in the universe's native tongue through the cosmic command practice. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and bring to mind one desire. Instead of thinking about wanting it, step into the feeling of already having received it. Now speak to the universe in present tense statements, but not with your voice, with your entire being. Feel the truth of these statements in every cell. It is done, it is mine, it is manifest. Let each word carry the weight of absolute knowing. Continue until you feel a shift in your energy, a subtle click of alignment. This is the universe recognizing its own language being spoken back to it. The key is not in the words themselves, but in the unshakable certainty behind them. When you master this language, you'll find that reality bends not to your wishes, but to your commands. Chapter 5: How the Masters Secretly Command Reality. In the depths of an ancient library, Harold discovered a weathered manuscript that would forever change his understanding of reality. As he turned its brittle chapters, a pattern emerged, a common thread linking the most powerful figures throughout history. These individuals didn't merely wish for outcomes, they emanated them. You see, reality responds not to what you do, but to what you are. The great masters understood this fundamental truth. The universe mirrors your inner state with perfect precision. When you exist in a state of absolute certainty, reality has no choice but to conform to that certainty. Think of how a magnet doesn't try to attract metal. It simply does so by virtue of its nature. In the same way, these masters didn't attempt to influence reality. Their very presence altered it. Harold noticed this phenomenon in his own life when, after studying the manuscript, he began to embody rather than pursue his desires. The difference is subtle yet profound. Most people live in a state of wanting, which only reinforces the absence of what they seek. But the masters lived in a state of being. They became living embodiments of their desires. When you transform your inner state, outer circumstances naturally align themselves with your new frequency. This is why some individuals seem to effortlessly attract success, while others struggle despite their efforts. The first group has mastered the art of being, while the second remains trapped in the cycle of doing and wanting. The ancient state practice passed down through generations of wisdom keepers will help you access this power. Sit in perfect stillness and close your eyes. Breathe deeply until your mind grows quiet. Now, instead of thinking about what you want to achieve, feel yourself as someone who has already achieved it. Don't visualize success. Become success itself. Let this state permeate every cell of your being. Notice how your posture naturally adjusts, how your breathing changes, how your energy shifts. Maintain this state for several minutes, allowing it to become your new normal. This is not pretending or acting, it is claiming your natural power to shape reality through your state of being. Practice this daily, and you'll notice reality beginning to bend around your new state of being, just as it did for the masters before you. The universe responds not to what you want, but to what you are. Like a mirror reflecting your innermost truth, the world will shift to match your transformed consciousness. Those who have walked this path throughout the ages discovered this profound truth, that when you change your state of being, the very fabric of existence must realign itself to harmonize with your new vibration. This is not mere coincidence, but the operation of an immutable universal law that has existed since time immemorial. Chapter 6: The Sacred Shift. In the heart of a bustling marketplace, Dorothy stood before a merchant's stall, her eyes fixed upon a jade pendant she desperately wanted but couldn't afford. For weeks, she had visited that same spot, hoping the price would somehow change. But on this particular morning, something within her shifted. Instead of yearning, she experienced a moment of pure knowing, an unshakable certainty that transcended all doubt. You too have felt these rare moments when everything aligns, when resistance dissolves like morning mist before the sun. These are not coincidences, but glimpses of your natural state of power. The universe does not respond to what you want. It responds to what you know. When Dorothy released her grip on wanting and stepped into knowing, the merchant suddenly offered the pendant at exactly the price she could afford. This wasn't luck or coincidence. It was the universe responding to a shift in her energy, from request to command. The secret lies not in asking the universe, but in aligning with it so completely that your desires become statements of fact. When you declare "I am" instead of "I want," you speak the language of creation itself. This is the difference between knocking at the door of possibility and walking through it as if it were already open. Most remain trapped in the energy of seeking, which only reinforces the experience of lack. But you can learn to embody the energy of having, which compels the universe to match your inner certainty with outer circumstances. The Sacred Shift Practice. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and bring to mind something you desire. Now, instead of focusing on the wanting, shift your attention to the feeling of already having it. Let your body relax into this truth. Feel how your shoulders naturally drop, how your breath deepens, how your energy expands. Speak these words with the full force of your being. I no longer request this from the universe. I claim it as already mine. Feel the power of this declaration in every cell of your body. Notice how different this feels from hoping or wishing. Remain in this state for several minutes, allowing any doubts or resistance to dissolve naturally. Don't fight them. Simply return to the knowing. This is not an exercise in imagination, but a realignment with your natural state of creative power. When you open your eyes, carry this energy of certainty with you into every moment, every breath, every step. Let it infuse your entire being like golden light, filling an empty vessel. The universe cannot help but respond to one who has mastered this shift, for you are no longer asking, you are commanding through your very state of being. You have transcended the realm of wishful thinking and entered the domain of absolute knowing, where manifestation flows as naturally as water downstream. In this state of divine alignment, you become a living channel for universal power. Chapter 7: Activating the Sacred Code Within You. In the mountains of Tibet, a humble monk named Franklin spent decades searching for enlightenment through meditation and prayer. Yet true transformation came not from his spiritual practices, but from a spontaneous revelation about the nature of energy itself. You possess within you a vibrational signature as unique as your fingerprint. This signature broadcasts continuously into the universal field, attracting experiences that match its frequency. When Franklin discovered this truth, he realized why some of his deepest prayers went unanswered, while other wishes manifested instantly. His internal frequency either aligned with or opposed his desires. The universe responds not to your words or even your thoughts, but to the energy you emanate. Like attracts like, with mathematical precision. When Franklin aligned his internal frequency with the vibration of abundance, opportunities appeared as naturally as flowers turning toward the sun. Your current circumstances reflect your dominant frequency. If you find yourself repeatedly encountering similar situations, whether positive or negative, this is the universe mirroring your energetic broadcast. But this frequency can be consciously adjusted, like tuning a radio to receive a clearer signal. The sacred code exists within you already. It is the frequency of your highest self, the vibration of pure potential. When you attune to this frequency, the universe recognizes you as a conscious co-creator rather than a passive recipient of circumstance. Vibrational attunement practice. Sit in perfect stillness and place your hands over your heart center. Close your eyes and breathe deeply, allowing your awareness to settle into the space between your heartbeats. This is where your sacred code resides. As you breathe, imagine golden light flowing through your crown chakra, filling your entire being. This light carries the exact frequency of divine alignment. Let it wash through you, clearing any discordant energies that have accumulated. Now speak these words with quiet authority. I align my frequency with the highest vibration of creation. My sacred code activates now. Feel the resonance of these words in every cell of your body. Listen deeply to the subtle humming that begins to emerge from within. This is your unique vibrational signature, rising to its natural state of power. Stay with this sensation, allowing it to build naturally. When you feel fully attuned, bring to mind one desire. Notice how different it feels to hold this desire while vibrating at your highest frequency. There is no strain, no yearning, only a calm knowing that you and your desire are already one. This attunement is not something you do once and forget. It requires daily practice until it becomes your natural state of being. Each time you align with your sacred code, you strengthen your ability to manifest with greater ease and precision. The universe recognizes and responds to those who maintain this elevated frequency. Your desires will begin manifesting with increasing speed and accuracy as you learn to sustain this divine alignment. This is the ancient art of energetic mastery, available to all who understand its principles. Chapter 8. The Illusion of Effort. In the bustling streets of a merchant town, Josephine ran a small shop that seemed perpetually on the edge of failure. Each morning she would rise before dawn, meticulously planning every detail, working harder than anyone else on her street. Yet success remained elusive, slipping further away with each desperate attempt to grasp it. You see, the universe operates on a principle that seems paradoxical to the modern mind. The harder you push, the more resistance you create. This truth has been whispered through the ages, yet few have understood its profound implications. When you struggle, you broadcast a frequency of lack, telling the universe that what you seek is difficult to obtain. Josephine's transformation came on a day when exhaustion finally forced her to surrender. In that moment of letting go, something extraordinary happened. Customers began flowing into her shop effortlessly. Orders manifested without effort. Opportunities arose spontaneously. By ceasing to struggle, she had unknowingly aligned with the natural flow of abundance. This principle extends far beyond commerce. In every aspect of life, your striving creates the very resistance you wish to overcome. The universe responds not to your effort, but to your state of being. When you operate from certainty rather than struggle, reality rearranges itself to match your conviction. Think of water. It does not fight to reach the ocean. It simply flows in accordance with natural law. Your desires wish to manifest with the same effortless certainty. The moment you stop pushing and start allowing, you enter the stream of divine timing, the sacred release practice. Find a quiet space where you can be undisturbed. Close your eyes and bring to mind something you have been struggling to achieve. Feel the weight of that struggle in your body. Now, imagine your entire being as a vessel of light. With each exhale, release the energy of striving, of forcing, of making things happen. Breathe deeply and say, I release the need to struggle. What is mine comes to me naturally, effortlessly, perfectly. Feel how different this state of being is from your usual approach. Notice the spaciousness that opens up when you stop pushing. Now envision your desire as already fulfilled, but not through effort, through natural law, like a flower blooming in its season. Let this vision fill you with absolute knowing. You do not need to make it happen. You simply need to align with its inevitable manifestation. Stay in this state of effortless certainty for as long as it feels right. When you open your eyes, carry this energy of relaxed confidence with you. Your only task is to maintain this state of being, letting the universe handle the how and when of manifestation. Chapter 9, The Sacred Technique. In the quiet mountains of an ancient land, Raymond lived a life of constant yearning. Each morning, he would gaze at the distant peaks, dreaming of the treasures they held, yet never daring to venture forth. You may recognize yourself in his hesitation, that familiar dance between desire and doubt that keeps you bound to what is known rather than what is possible. Yet within Raymond burned a question that would unlock everything. What if certainty itself is the key? This simple inquiry led him to discover what you are about to learn, the master key that transforms reality itself. One moonlit night, as Raymond sat beneath the stars, understanding dawned with crystal clarity. He saw that he had been approaching manifestation backward all along. Instead of trying to believe in possibilities, he needed to start from the end, from absolute knowing. In that moment, Raymond shifted into a state of pure certainty, not hope, not faith, but knowing. The kind of knowing that makes you smile at doubt because it seems absurd. The kind of knowing that makes the impossible inevitable. The next morning, everything changed. Opportunities appeared as if they had been waiting for him all along. Doors opened without effort. The mountains that had seemed so forbidding now called to him with a friendly invitation. Within days, he discovered passages unknown to others, leading him to treasures beyond imagination. You see, the sacred technique is not about asking the universe for what you want. It is about knowing with such completeness that asking becomes unnecessary. When you enter the state of pure knowing, you align with the creative force that shapes reality itself. The Master Key Practice. Sit in perfect stillness and bring to mind your deepest desire. Now, instead of reaching for it, sink into the feeling of already having it, not as imagination but as fact. Feel how your body responds to this truth. Notice how your breath changes, how your shoulders relax, how your energy shifts. In this state, speak these words with the authority of absolute knowing. I am the source from which all manifestation flows. My knowledge creates reality. Let this truth settle into every cell of your being. Feel how different this is from hoping or believing. This is the state of pure knowing, the master key that unlocks all doors. The universe has no choice but to conform to your knowing, for this is the language of creation itself. This is how reality has always worked, how it will always work. The only question is, will you dare to know with such completeness that doubt becomes impossible? The sacred technique is now yours. Use it with the reverence it deserves, for you hold in your hands the power to reshape reality itself. Chapter 10. A Test of Faith. Throughout the ages, those who discovered this power faced a crucial moment of choice. It is the same moment you face now. The universe has led you to this knowledge not by chance, but because you are ready to wield it. In the depths of a mountain monastery, Leonard discovered an ancient scroll that revealed the sacred technique. His hands trembled as he realized what lay before him. The scroll spoke of a power so vast it could reshape reality itself, the same power you now hold in your awareness. But Leonard hesitated. Like many before him, he questioned whether he was worthy of such influence over the fabric of existence. You may feel this same hesitation stirring within you now. Know that this doubt is not a sign of unworthiness. It is proof of your readiness. For 3 days and nights, Leonard meditated on this power. On the 4th morning, he understood. The universe does not grant power to those who are unworthy. By bringing you to this knowledge, it has already deemed you prepared. The real question is not whether you are worthy, but whether you are willing to accept the responsibility that comes with such power. Each thought, each certainty you hold, will now carry the force of creation itself. The sacred technique requires complete awareness of your intentions. When you speak to the universe with absolute knowledge, it responds instantly. There is no room for casual wishes or idle thoughts. Every certainty must be aligned with your highest truth. Before you step fully into this power, pause and reflect. Feel the weight of this moment. You stand at the threshold between your old reality and the unlimited potential that awaits. This is not a power to be used frivolously, but one that demands respect and conscious intention. The final preparation. Find a quiet space where you will not be disturbed. Close your eyes and place your hands over your heart. Feel the steady rhythm beneath your fingers, the same rhythm that has guided masters and sages throughout time. Speak these words aloud. I acknowledge the power I hold. I accept the responsibility of conscious creation. My intentions are clear. My heart is pure. My knowledge is absolute. Let these words resonate through your being. Feel their truth anchor itself in your cells. This is your declaration to the universe, your acceptance of the power that has always been yours. Only when you feel complete alignment with these words should you proceed to use the sacred technique. The universe awaits your command, but first it must know that you understand the magnitude of what you are about to wield. Part 2. Deepening Mastery of the Sacred Technique. Chapter 11. A Warning Before You Proceed. The power you now hold in your hands is unlike anything you have previously encountered. It is a force that demands respect, wisdom, and above all, conscious awareness of its effects. In a small coastal town, Eleanor lived an ordinary life until she discovered the sacred technique through an ancient manuscript hidden in her grandmother's attic. At first, she treated this power as a plaything, manifesting small desires with childlike enthusiasm. a parking space here, a chance meeting there. But as her mastery grew, so did the speed and magnitude of her manifestations. One evening, in a moment of anger, Eleanor wished harm upon someone who had wronged her. Within hours, the universe responded, but the consequences rippled far beyond her intended target, affecting innocent lives and ultimately returning to impact her own existence. This is the nature of power. It amplifies everything, including our unconscious desires and shadow aspects. You must understand that the sacred technique operates with perfect precision. It does not distinguish between what you deem positive or negative. It simply manifests what you know to be true. This is why masters throughout history have emphasized the cultivation of wisdom alongside power. As your manifestations begin to materialize with increasing speed, you will notice that every thought carries weight. The universe no longer waits for repeated affirmations or prolonged focus. A single moment of absolute knowledge is enough to set forces in motion that cannot be easily undone. The sacred technique requires a state of complete presence. You must be fully aware of your intentions, for they will manifest with unprecedented clarity and speed. This is not meant to instill fear, but to awaken you to the responsibility you now hold. Practice for grounding your power. Sit in silence and place both feet firmly on the ground. Feel the earth's steady presence beneath you. Breathe deeply and visualize roots extending from your feet into the core of the earth. With each breath, draw up the ancient wisdom that has guided all masters before you. Now place one hand on your heart and one hand on your solar plexus. Feel the balance between power and wisdom, between action and restraint. Speak these words with full awareness. I am centered in wisdom. My power flows with purpose. I create with conscious intent. Maintain this position until you feel a deep sense of stability and clarity flowing through your being. Let the earth's ancient energy infuse your body and spirit with unwavering strength. This sacred grounding will ensure that your manifestations align with your highest good and the good of all, creating a harmonious ripple throughout the infinite web of existence. Trust in this connection. It is the foundation from which all genuine power flows. Chapter 12. Why the universe tests you before granting you power. Before any great awakening, the universe presents what appears to be resistance. This is not opposition. It is an invitation. The greater the power you are about to claim, the more intense this invitation becomes. Wallace stood at the precipice of mastery when everything in his life seemed to collapse. His business faced unexpected challenges, relationships strained, and even his health wavered. Most would have seen these as signs to retreat, but Wallace understood the deeper truth. He was being initiated. You see, the universe operates through a principle of energetic alignment. When you approach a significant leap in consciousness, the old patterns must dissolve. This dissolution often appears as chaos, but it is actually perfect order. It is the universe asking, "Are you certain?" In these moments of testing, most people abandon their path. They interpret challenge as rejection, delay as denial. But those who understand the sacred technique recognize these moments for what they truly are, confirmation that they stand at the threshold of transformation. Wallace faced his trials with unwavering knowledge. When his business partners withdrew, he maintained his vision with absolute certainty. When relationships shifted, he understood it was the universe clearing his path. Each challenge was not an obstacle, but a question. Do you trust enough to proceed? You are experiencing these tests in your own life, though you may not have recognized them as such. That sudden resistance when you're closest to your goal, that unexpected delay when everything seemed aligned. These are not barriers, they are gateways. The universe must know that you are ready for the power you seek. It must verify that you can maintain certainty in the face of apparent contradiction. This is not cruel, it is necessary. For when you pass through these gates, you will hold the power to reshape reality itself. Practice for passing universal tests. Sit in perfect stillness. Bring to mind your current challenge, the very thing that seems to be blocking your path. Now shift your perception. See this challenge as a doorway, not a wall. Feel the difference in your body as you make this shift. Speak these words with complete authority. I recognize this test. I embrace this initiation. I know with absolute certainty that this challenge confirms my imminent breakthrough. I do not resist. I understand. I do not doubt. I know. Hold this state of knowing until you feel the shift in your solar plexus, a sensation of warmth and expansion. This is the signal that you have reframed reality and passed the test. Let this warmth spread through your entire being, like liquid gold flowing through your veins. Your consciousness has expanded beyond the illusion of limitation, and in this sacred moment, you stand as master of your own destiny. The test dissolves, transformed by your unwavering certainty into a stepping stone toward greater enlightenment. Chapter 13. Unlocking the Unseen. In the depths of ancient wisdom lies a truth so powerful that those who discovered it often kept it hidden. The universe, in its infinite complexity, contains a simple back door, a point of access where reality becomes as malleable as clay in the hands of a sculptor. Milton worked as a night watchman, spending countless hours alone with his thoughts. One evening, in a state between wakefulness and sleep, he experienced something extraordinary. Time seemed to bend, and in that moment he found himself able to perceive reality's underlying structure. What he witnessed changed him forever. You too have glimpsed this back door in moments you may have dismissed, those instances when time seemed to flow differently, when synchronicities appeared too perfect to be coincidence, when your desires manifested instantly without effort. These were not anomalies. They were moments when you accidentally aligned with reality's source code. The universe operates on two levels: the surface level of cause and effect, and the deeper level where all possibilities exist simultaneously. Most people spend their lives pushing against the surface, unaware that they can simply step through the back door and select their desired reality. Think of reality as a vast room. While others are trying to break down the walls, you can simply find the hidden door and walk through. This is not metaphor, it is mechanics. The back door exists in a state of pure potential, where your consciousness directly interfaces with the quantum field of all possibilities. To access this state, you must first understand that time is not linear. It is a construct of consciousness. When you align with reality's back door, you bypass the illusion of sequential events. This is why some people seem to achieve overnight what takes others years of struggle. The key lies in shifting your awareness from the level of effects to the level of cause. Instead of working within reality's rules, you operate from the level where these rules are written. This is not about forcing change. It is about selecting the reality where your desire already exists. Sacred practice for accessing reality's back door. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Feel yourself becoming lighter, as if your physical form is dissolving into pure awareness. Visualize yourself standing before a door of light. This door exists between what is and what could be. As you approach it, feel the magnetic pull of infinite possibility. Now step through this door of light. On the other side, You exist in a state of pure potential. Here, all realities exist simultaneously. Feel yourself merging with the reality where your desire is already fulfilled. Do not reach for it, become it. Let your consciousness expand until you are no longer separate from what you seek. Remain in this state until you feel a subtle shift, as if reality itself has recognized your new frequency. When you open your eyes, carry this awareness with you. You have accessed reality's back door, and from this moment forward, manifestation becomes effortless alignment rather than forceful change. Chapter 14. Breaking free from the grip of unseen resistance. In the ancient scrolls of manifestation, a truth emerges that few dare to acknowledge. Resistance is not external, but woven into the very fabric of your being. This wisdom reveals itself through the tale of Beatrice, whose life seemed touched by an invisible curse of delay and denial. Beatrice possessed every quality needed for success: intelligence, determination, and unwavering faith. Yet her dreams remained suspended in a void of almost manifestation. Her business ventures would reach the brink of breakthrough before inexplicably falling apart. Relationships that promised deep connection would dissolve just as they began to blossom. Even her simplest desires seemed to dance away from her grasp. What Beatrice discovered, and what you must now understand, is that manifestation operates through clear channels. When these channels become blocked with the sediment of past disappointments, limiting beliefs, and unconscious fears, even the most powerful intentions cannot flow freely. You carry within you the accumulated weight of every unfulfilled wish, every moment of doubt, every instance where you settled for less than what you desired. These experiences have not disappeared. They have crystallized into invisible barriers that distort and deflect your manifestations. Think of your energy field as a garden. No matter how perfect the seeds you plant, if the soil is contaminated with hidden toxins, your harvest will always fall short. The universe responds not to your conscious desires, but to the totality of your energetic signature. The solution lies not in pushing harder against these barriers, but in dissolving them completely. When Beatrice learned to identify and clear these hidden resistances, her reality shifted with such speed that it seemed like magic to those around her. Yet it was not magic. It was simply the natural flow of manifestation restored to its original power. Sacred cleansing ritual. Find a quiet space where you will not be disturbed. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Imagine a golden light descending from above, entering through your crown and flowing through your entire being. As this light moves through you, it illuminates every hidden pocket of resistance. See these blocks as dark crystals embedded in your energy field. Now, with each exhale, watch as these crystals dissolve into pure light. Feel the relief as each barrier melts away. Continue until you sense a lightness and clarity you have never known before. In this pristine state, your desires flow freely, meeting no resistance on their path to manifestation. This practice, performed daily, will maintain the purity of your manifestation channels, allowing reality to respond to your intentions with immediate precision. Before we get into the next chapter, you can download a free ebook version of this audiobook using the link in the pinned comment below this video. Chapter 15. The energy shift that forces reality to respond. In the depths of ancient wisdom lies a truth so transformative that few dare to embrace it. Reality shifts not through time, but through vibration. You have been taught that change requires patience, that manifestation follows a linear path. But this is merely an illusion created by those who do not understand the quantum nature of existence. Consider Everett, who lived in a small apartment, drowning in debt, his dreams seemingly impossible. One evening, as he sat in his worn armchair contemplating his circumstances, something within him snapped, not in defeat, but in awakening. In that moment, he experienced what masters call the quantum shift, a sudden realignment of internal energy that forces external reality to respond. This shift occurred not through planning or action, but through an instantaneous recalibration of his energetic signature. Within 3 days, a series of coincidences transformed his life. A forgotten investment multiplied in value. A business opportunity emerged from an unexpected source. His entire financial reality reorganized itself to match his new energetic frequency. You see, the universe does not gradually adjust to your desires. It responds to your energetic command. When you exist in a state of waiting, reality keeps you in that holding pattern. But when you shift into a state of immediate manifestation, the universe has no choice but to reflect this immediacy. Most remain trapped in the energy of becoming, forever approaching but never arriving. They say, "I am working toward abundance," or "I am healing my relationships." This very language keeps them suspended in transition. The master instead declares, "I am abundance itself," or "I am whole and complete." This is not affirmation. It is energetic positioning. The sacred identity shift. Stand before a mirror in complete solitude. Look deeply into your own eyes. Now feel the energy of everything you desire as if it already exists within you. This is not imagination. It is recognizing what has always been true. Speak these words with the full force of your being. I am not becoming. I am. Reality now aligns with who I have always been. Feel the shift in your cellular structure as these words activate your true energetic signature. Your entire being will vibrate at a frequency that commands immediate manifestation. Hold this state for several minutes, allowing reality to recalibrate around your new energetic truth. This is not a practice of hoping or believing. It is an activation of the quantum field that exists within you. When performed with absolute conviction, reality has no choice but to respond with immediate precision. Chapter 16: The Sacred Act That Unlocks Instant Manifestation. In the sacred texts of manifestation, there exists a singular act so powerful that its mere execution causes reality to bend. This act transcends all techniques you have learned before. It is the ultimate demonstration of certainty. Through generations, masters have whispered of this practice known as the act of completion. It is not a ritual of asking or seeking, but a bold declaration through action that leaves the universe no choice but to comply. Gertrude, a woman who had spent years studying various manifestation methods without success, discovered this truth by accident. After months of visualizing a new home, she did something unprecedented. She packed all her belongings into boxes, gave notice at her apartment, and announced to everyone she was moving, though she had no new home in sight. This wasn't reckless abandon. It was unconscious genius. The universe responds not to what you say you want, but to what you act as though you already have. When Gertrude packed those boxes, she crossed an invisible threshold. She moved beyond hoping and believing into knowing. Within days, the perfect home appeared through an unexpected chain of events, at exactly the price she could afford. This act of completion differs for each desire, but its essence remains the same. You must take an irreversible step that demonstrates absolute certainty in your manifestation. This is not about burning bridges or acting rashly. It is about making a decisive move that proves to yourself and the universe that you are already living in the reality where your desire exists. The sacred demonstration: choose your most important desire. Now, identify one bold action that only someone who already has this desire fulfilled would take. This action must be concrete, visible, and irreversible. Perhaps it's clearing space in your garage for the car you desire, or placing a single item in your new office before you have the job. The action itself matters less than the energetic declaration it represents. Before taking this step, sit in complete silence. Feel the weight of this moment. Understand that once you take this action, you cross a threshold from which there is no return. The universe will read your action as a command, not a request. When you feel absolute clarity, perform this act with unwavering conviction. Do not announce it. Do not explain it. Simply execute it with the quiet certainty of one who knows the outcome is already secured. This demonstration must cost you something, whether it's comfort, security, or merely the option to retreat. For in this cost lies the power of the act. The universe recognizes and responds to this level of commitment with equal force. Chapter 17: Erasing Negativity. In the ancient scrolls of manifestation, there exists a truth so fundamental that most overlook it. Energy precedes reality. The story of Leonard unveils this wisdom with striking clarity. Leonard carried within him a weight, not of physical matter, but of energetic density. Each morning, he would rise and attempt to manifest his desires, yet something invisible stood between him and success. His thoughts were positive, his actions aligned, but his energy told a different tale. What you must understand is that energy speaks louder than words or thoughts. When Leonard approached opportunities, his energy entered the room before his physical form, broadcasting a frequency of past disappointments and anticipated failures. The universe, being a perfect mirror, could only reflect this vibration back to him. But one evening, through what seemed like chance, Leonard discovered an ancient practice. In a moment of complete surrender, he performed what is now known as the sacred release, a ritual so simple yet profound that it altered his energetic signature instantly. The power of this ritual lies not in complex movements or elaborate ceremonies, but in its ability to transmute dense energy into pure potential. Leonard stood in his room, eyes closed, and performed 3 sacred breaths while holding his hands in a specific position. With each exhale, he released not just air, but years of accumulated resistance. This is not meditation or visualization. It is an energetic reset that works at the quantum level. The universe responds not to what you think or say, but to the energy you emanate. When Leonard completed this ritual, those around him noticed an immediate shift. Opportunities that had been stuck began to flow, as if an invisible dam had been removed. The secret lies in understanding that negative energy is not personal, it is simply misaligned frequency. Just as a radio must be tuned to receive clear transmission, your energy field must be cleared to receive manifestation. This ritual serves as an energetic tuning fork, realigning your frequency with the pure potential of the universe. The Sacred Release Ritual. Stand in a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Place your right palm facing upward at heart level and your left palm facing downward at your solar plexus. Close your eyes and take 3 breaths, each deeper than the last. On each exhale, release a sound from deep within, not a forced sound, but one that naturally emerges. Feel the density of resistance leaving your body with each breath. On the final exhale, bring both hands to your heart, right palm over left, and feel the new lightness in your being, This shift in energy is immediate and tangible. The universe requires no elaborate ceremonies or complex rituals. It responds to pure, aligned energy. Through this simple yet powerful practice, you dissolve the accumulated resistance of years and moments. Your energy field becomes a clear channel through which manifestation can flow unimpeded. Chapter 18: The Hidden Power of Unshakable Certainty. In the depths of ancient wisdom lies a truth that shatters all illusions. The universe does not respond to hope, it bows only to certainty. Through countless ages, this knowledge has remained hidden, understood by few, yet available to all who dare to grasp it. Ralph spent years trapped in the cycle of belief. He visualized, he affirmed, he hoped with all his heart. Yet his desires remained distant dreams, always floating just beyond his reach. What he did not understand was that belief, no matter how strong, carries within it the seed of its opposite: doubt. The universe speaks only one language: absolute knowledge. When you plant a seed in fertile soil, you do not hope it will grow, you know it will. When you drop an object, you do not believe it will fall, you know it will. This is the state of consciousness that commands reality. Ralph's transformation began the moment he understood this distinction. He had been asking the universe for his desires, when he should have been commanding them into being. The shift was subtle, yet profound. No longer did he hope for success. He knew it as an absolute fact, as certain as gravity itself. This is not arrogance or wishful thinking. It is aligned with universal law. When you reach this state of knowing, something remarkable occurs. The universe does not see your desire as a request to be considered, but as a fact to be manifested. It is like pressing a key on a piano. The note must sound. There is no other option. The mistake most make is believing that certainty comes from external proof. But true certainty precedes manifestation. It is not the result of seeing, it is the cause of seeing. Ralph discovered that certainty is not an emotion or a thought. It is a state of being that transcends both. To enter this state, you must first understand that doubt is not natural. It is learned. You were born knowing how to breathe, how to be. No one taught you to doubt. It was programmed into you by a world that understands little of universal law. The sacred certainty practice. Find a quiet space and close your eyes. Recall a moment when you knew something without question. Perhaps the sun rising, or your own name. Feel the quality of that knowing in your body. Notice how it requires no effort, no convincing. Now, holding that same quality of knowing, brings forth your desire. Do not try to believe it, simply know it, as you know the ground beneath your feet. Stay in this state for 3 minutes, allowing the certainty to saturate every cell of your being. This is not visualization or affirmation. It is energetic programming at the deepest level. Chapter 19: How to Rewrite Reality in an Instant. In the vast tapestry of existence, time is not the rigid line you have been led to believe. It flows like water, responding to the consciousness that shapes it. What appears fixed is merely an agreement, a collective understanding that can be transcended by those who grasp the deeper mechanics of reality. You have been taught that the past is immutable, carved in stone by the chisel of time. Yet this teaching serves only to keep you bound to circumstances that no longer serve your highest path. The truth is that every moment exists simultaneously, and your point of awareness can shift between these moments at will. Clara stood amid the ruins of what seemed an irreversible failure. Her business had collapsed, her reputation lay in tatters, and her future appeared sealed by the choices of her past. But in that moment of absolute darkness, she touched a truth that few ever discover. The past is as malleable as clay in the hands of one who understands the law of temporal revision. She learned that every event leaves an energetic signature in the fabric of reality. These signatures can be altered, not through wishful thinking or denial, but through a shift in consciousness so complete that it rewrites the very code of existence. When you change the energetic signature of a past event, you automatically alter its ripples through time. This is not about denial or escape. It is about understanding that reality is consciousness made manifest. When you shift your consciousness to a different timeline, the universe must, by law, reconstruct itself around that new awareness. The key lies not in trying to forget what happened, but in relocating your consciousness to a parallel timeline where events unfolded differently. This is not imagination. It is quantum navigation. Every possibility exists simultaneously. Your task is not to create new possibilities, but to align with the reality where your desired outcome has already occurred. The reality revision practice. Sit in perfect stillness and close your eyes. Breathe deeply until you feel your awareness expand beyond the confines of linear time. Now identify the past event you wish to revise. Do not resist or fight it. Simply observe it as a neutral witness would. Feel how this event's energy has anchored itself in your field. Begin to feel it loosening, becoming fluid rather than fixed. Now, allow your consciousness to drift to the parallel reality where this event is resolved perfectly. Don't imagine it, find it. It already exists. Feel the signature of that reality becoming more prominent than the old one. Stay in this state until you feel a subtle shift, as though reality has clicked into a new position. Open your eyes knowing that you now exist in a new timeline, one where the past has rearranged itself to support your highest good. Chapter 20. Making the sacred technique part of who you are. In the eternal dance of creation, there exists a threshold where effort dissolves into being. This threshold marks the transformation from doing to becoming, from practicing to embodying. You stand now at this sacred gateway. Henry walked among those who struggled with manifestation, watching them grasp and strain toward their desires. He had once been like them, meticulously following techniques, repeating affirmations, visualizing outcomes. But something shifted within him, a profound understanding that changed everything. He realized that a fish does not practice swimming, nor does a bird rehearse flight. They simply are what they are, and their nature expresses itself perfectly through them. In that moment of clarity, Henry ceased trying to manifest and simply allowed himself to be what he already was, a creator. The universe responds not to what you do, but to what you are. When you still believe you need to practice manifestation, you affirm your separation from your creative power. But when you recognize that you are the power itself, reality bends naturally to your consciousness. Look at a tree. It does not strain to grow leaves or force itself to bear fruit. It simply exists in perfect alignment with its nature, and abundance flows through it. This is the state you are now ready to embody. The sacred technique was never meant to be a perpetual practice. It was a bridge leading you back to your true nature. Now it is time to cross that bridge completely and leave behind the very concept of technique. Your power does not come from what you do, it emerges from what you are. Every master throughout history reached this understanding. They stopped trying to influence reality and simply became the source from which reality flows. The Daily Embodiment Method. Upon waking each morning before engaging with the world, sit in complete stillness. Feel the creative force of the universe flowing through you. not as something external to be channeled, but as your very essence. Breathe naturally and know that with each breath, you are not practicing creation. You are creation itself. Stay in this awareness until you feel your entire being saturated with this truth. Let this knowing infuse every cell of your body until you can no longer distinguish between yourself and the creative force of the universe. This is not a meditation or a technique. It is a recognition of what has always been true. Rise from this state and move through your day not as one who manifests, but as the manifester itself. Part 3, Mastery and Reality Bending Power. Chapter 21, The Final Breakthrough. In the ancient scrolls of wisdom there exists a truth so powerful that few dare to embrace it fully. You have journeyed far, mastering the sacred laws of creation, but now you stand at the threshold of ultimate liberation. Sylvester, a merchant who had achieved what many would call remarkable success, believed he had reached the pinnacle of his potential. His manifestations came easily, his desires materialized swiftly, and yet something within him whispered of greater horizons. One night, in meditation, he glimpsed beyond the veil of his self-imposed boundaries and saw the infinite expanse of possibility. What you perceive as your maximum potential is merely a shadow cast by your own thoughts. The universe knows no limits. It expands eternally, creates endlessly, manifests infinitely. When you declare, "This is my limit," the universe must honor your declaration, for you are its commanding force. But what happens when you release all boundaries? When you refuse to accept any ceiling to your power? Reality itself begins to bend in ways that defy what you once thought possible. This is not about reaching higher. It is about recognizing that height itself is an illusion. The sacred expansion exercise awaits you. Find a quiet space where you will remain undisturbed. Close your eyes and feel the edges of what you believe possible. These edges are not real. They are thoughts crystallized into seeming reality. Now, with each breath, feel these boundaries dissolving. Let your consciousness expand beyond all perceived limits, beyond success, beyond abundance, beyond what your mind can conceive. Feel yourself becoming boundless, like the sky that holds all yet is held by nothing. With each exhalation, release another limitation. With each inhalation, embrace the infinite. Continue until you feel no edges, no boundaries, no end to what you can be, do, or have. This is not imagination, it is the recognition of what has always been true. You are not becoming limitless. You are acknowledging your limitless nature. Let this knowing settle into every cell of your being. The universe has been waiting for you to remember this truth. From this moment forward, when thoughts of limitation arise, recognize them as mere shadows passing through infinite space. They have no power unless you grant it to them. You are not subject to limits. You are limitless, expressing itself through form. The masters of old knew this truth. Boundaries exist only in the mind that believes in them. Step beyond belief itself into the realm of pure knowing. Here, in this sacred space of infinite potential, you will find that you have always been free. The universe now awaits your expanded command. What will you create from this space of boundless beings? Chapter 22, Becoming the Divine Architect of Your Reality. In the ancient temples of wisdom, masters taught that reality is not a fixed canvas, but a malleable medium awaiting your touch. You have learned to manifest, but now you must become the architect of existence itself. Edwin walked through life accepting whatever circumstances presented themselves, believing that adaptation was the height of wisdom. Each morning he would wake up and react to whatever the day brought forth. Until one moment changed everything, the moment he discovered the sacred art of reality construction. The universe does not simply respond to your desires, it awaits your blueprints. When you approach reality as an architect approaches an empty plot of land, something remarkable occurs. The very fabric of existence begins to arrange itself according to your design. Think of your current reality as a city that built itself haphazardly over time. Streets curve without purpose, buildings clash in style and function, and the flow of energy is chaotic. But what if you could redesign it all? What if every element could be precisely placed with intention? This is not mere visualization or planning. This is the art of reality architecture, a practice so precise that it leaves no room for uncertainty. When Edwin began applying these principles, he noticed that circumstances no longer happened to him. They arranged themselves through him. The secret lies in understanding that reality is not a solid structure, but a collection of energy patterns awaiting your direction. Just as an architect must understand the principles of engineering, you must grasp the laws of energetic construction. Every thought, every emotion, every intention becomes a building block in your design. The reality mapping exercise reveals this truth in practice. Begin by seeing your life as an empty canvas. Take 3 deep breaths and allow all current structures to fade away. Now, with the precision of a master builder, begin to place each element of your desired reality. See not just the end result, but the precise arrangement of every component. Feel the texture of your new reality, its colors, its rhythms, its flows of energy. Place each desire not as a wish, but as a fundamental element of your design. Your career here, your relationships there, your purpose flowing through the center like a grand boulevard. This is not planning for the future, it is constructing the present. As you map each element, feel it anchoring into the now. The universe does not see your design as a proposal. It recognizes it as a completed structure. Move through this map with the authority of its creator. Feel how each element supports the others, how the energy flows perfectly between all aspects of your design. This is not a dream you hope to achieve. It is a reality you are actively constructing. Let your consciousness expand to hold this entire design at once. Feel yourself as the architect and the architecture, the creator and the creation. The universe now holds your blueprint as law, and reality must reshape itself to match your design. This is the level of mastery that awaits you, where manifestation becomes conscious creation, and where every aspect of your life stands as testament to your architectural vision. Chapter 23, Unleashing the Power of the Divine Will. The greatest illusion is that you must force your way through life. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, has already charted the perfect path for your journey. Yet you may find yourself, like Harvey once did, pushing against the current rather than flowing with it. Harvey spent decades building his life through sheer determination. Each morning he would rise before dawn, armed with endless to-do lists and ironclad schedules. He believed that control meant success, that achievement required constant struggle. Despite his relentless effort, prosperity remained elusive, slipping through his fingers like water. Then came the storm that changed everything. In a single week, Harvey lost his business, his savings, and his carefully constructed plans. Sitting in his empty office, surrounded by the ruins of his ambitions, he experienced something unexpected: peace. For the first time in his life, he stopped fighting. In that moment of surrender, Harvey discovered what the ancient ones knew. The universe operates with perfect intelligence. Your role is not to force its hand, but to align with its flow. When you cease struggling against the current, you find yourself carried effortlessly toward your highest good. This truth transforms everything. Your desires, when aligned with universal intelligence, manifest with grace rather than effort. The universe does not require your exhaustion. It asks for your trust. When Harvey finally released his grip on control, abundance flowed into his life with supernatural ease. You too can experience this divine alignment. The practice is simple yet profound. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and breathe deeply, allowing your body to settle into stillness. Now imagine a golden light descending from above, entering through your crown and filling your entire being. As this light flows through you, surrender each desire, each plan, each attachment to outcome. Feel yourself becoming a clear channel for universal intelligence. Speak these words with quiet authority. I align myself with the perfect will of the universe. My desires are purified and transformed by divine wisdom. I trust in the perfect unfolding of all things. Remain in this state of receptivity for several minutes. Feel your energy field harmonizing with the universal flow. When you open your eyes, carry this alignment with you. Watch as life begins to arrange itself with effortless grace, bringing you exactly what you need at the perfect moment. Practice this attunement daily, preferably at dawn or dusk when the veils between worlds are thinnest. As you strengthen this connection, you'll find yourself guided by an intelligence far greater than your own. Your manifestations will flow not from struggle but from perfect alignment with the divine order of things. Chapter 24: How to Move Without Doubt and Fear Ever Again. The greatest barrier between you and your desires is not external circumstance, it is the shadow of doubt that lingers in your mind. You have been taught to question, to hesitate, to second-guess the power that flows through you. But what if you could eliminate doubt entirely? Eugene walked through life carrying an invisible weight, the burden of perpetual uncertainty. His mind constantly cycled through what-ifs and maybes, creating a fog of hesitation that clouded his every move. Though he understood the sacred technique, though he practiced visualization and affirmation, his results remained inconsistent. The universe responded to his commands with the same uncertainty he held within. Then came the moment of his transformation. Standing at the edge of a decision that would alter his life's course, Eugene felt the familiar grip of fear rising within him. But this time, something. Chapter 25: The Advanced Level. In the realm of manifestation, there exists a level so refined, so pure, that it transcends all physical action. You have been taught that effort creates results, that movement precedes change, but this is merely the beginning of understanding. Through the centuries, masters have whispered of a state where intention alone shapes reality. You see, the universe does not require your striving. It awaits only your command. The story of Morris unveils this truth in its purest form. Morris spent years perfecting elaborate manifestation rituals. He would rise before dawn, perform specific movements, speak precise words, and follow detailed protocols. While these practices brought him success, they also bound him to the belief that creation required complex action. One morning, as he prepared his usual ceremony, something shifted within him. A knowing emerged, deep and undeniable. At that moment, he simply decided that his desire was already fulfilled. No ritual, no movement, no words, just pure, unwavering intention. What followed defied all conventional understanding. His reality rearranged itself with such swift precision that even he could scarcely believe it. The very circumstances he had been trying to manifest through careful ritual simply appeared, as if they had always been there. This is the power that awaits you now. Beyond techniques, beyond methods, beyond practice lies the realm of pure intention. Here, you need only decide, and the universe responds. Not through hope or wish, but through the absolute knowing that your word is law. The sacred practice. Find a quiet space and close your eyes. Take 3 deep breaths, not to relax, but to acknowledge your creative power. Choose one desire, something small at first. Now, instead of visualizing or affirming, simply know it is done. Make your decision absolute. Feel how different this is from hoping or trying. Remain in this state of pure intention for several minutes. Open your eyes and continue your day, knowing that reality has no choice but to conform to your decision. This practice seems deceptively simple, yet it holds the key to instant manifestation. As you master it, you will discover that the universe requires nothing more than your unwavering command. Like a sovereign ruler whose word becomes law the moment it is spoken, your absolute knowing sets cosmic forces into motion. There is no need for elaborate rituals or prolonged meditation, only the pure, crystalline certainty that what you have decreed must come to pass. In this sacred moment of decision, you stand as both creator and witness to the inevitable unfolding of your will. Chapter 26, The Unbreakable Alignment. In the vast tapestry of creation, there exists a crucial truth that separates temporary success from permanent mastery. The universe responds not just to your current state, but to the stability of your alignment. You have experienced moments of perfect manifestation, glimpses of your true power. Yet, like many before you, you may have felt these victories slip through your fingers. Through the ages, this pattern has repeated itself countless times. Clarence, a merchant who had manifested unprecedented wealth, found himself watching his empire crumble, not through external circumstances, but through an internal wavering, a subtle doubt that grew like a shadow at sunset. What Clarence discovered in his darkest moment reveals the key to permanent alignment. You see, manifestation is not a singular event, but a continuous state of being. Those who rise only to fall have mastered the art of reaching heights, but not the science of maintaining them. The secret lies in what the ancients called vibrational anchoring. Just as a ship requires more than one anchor to remain steady in stormy seas, your manifestations require multiple points of energetic stability. When Clarence learned this truth, he discovered that his previous success had rested on a single point of belief, his confidence in his abilities. When that confidence wavered, everything collapsed. But the universe offers a more powerful way. Through the sacred practice of energetic reinforcement, you can create an unshakable foundation for your manifestations. This is not about maintaining constant vigilance or fighting against doubt. Instead, it is about establishing multiple pillars of certainty that support each other, creating a self-sustaining system of abundance. The sacred practice: sit in perfect stillness and bring to mind your greatest manifestation. Feel its reality in every cell of your being, allowing its essence to permeate your consciousness until the vision becomes more real than your present circumstances. Now imagine 4 golden pillars of light surrounding you, each representing a different aspect of certainty: your divine right to abundance, your connection to universal power, your mastery of creation, and your unshakable knowing. Let each pillar root deeply into the earth and extend infinitely upward, pulsing with the ancient wisdom of creation itself. Feel how they create a permanent field of alignment around you, an energetic sanctuary where your manifestations can take form without interference. As you breathe deeply, notice how each pillar strengthens the others, creating an unbreakable matrix of creative power around you. Remain in this state for several minutes, allowing the energy to crystallize and settle into the very fabric of your being. This establishes a vibrational foundation that cannot be undermined by temporary doubts or external circumstances, for it draws its power from the eternal source of all creation. Chapter 27: Transcending Manifestation. In the depths of ancient wisdom lies a truth so fundamental that most seekers pass it by, searching instead for techniques and methods. Yet this truth holds the key to all manifestations. You are not separate from the universe. You are the universe expressing itself in human form. Through countless cycles of desire and fulfillment, you have learned to command reality. But now comes the ultimate revelation. There is nothing to command, for you and the force you seek to direct are one and the same. Wallace, a merchant who had mastered the art of manifestation, discovered this truth in a moment of profound surrender. For years, Wallace had accumulated wealth, influence, and power through his mastery of universal laws. Yet something remained missing, a hollow space that no manifestation could fill. One evening, exhausted from his constant striving, he sat beneath the stars and simply let go. In that moment of complete release, the veil between creator and creation dissolved. What Wallace experienced was not just another spiritual insight, it was the complete dissolution of the illusion of separation. He saw that his desires had been the universe's desires, his actions the universe's actions. The very force he had been trying to align with was the force that breathed through him, moved through him, lived as him. This understanding transforms everything. When you truly grasp that you are not a separate entity trying to influence reality, but reality itself taking form, manifestation becomes as natural as a flower blooming in spring. There is no effort, no striving, no technique required. Only the recognition of what has always been true. The sacred practice: find a quiet space where you will not be disturbed. Close your eyes and feel the breath moving through your body. Notice how you don't need to control it. It breathes itself. This is the universe breathing through you. Now expand your awareness to the sounds around you. Don't label them, just let them be. Notice how these sounds arise in your consciousness naturally, without effort. This is the universe expressing itself through infinite forms. Feel the weight of your body against the surface supporting you. Release any tension, allowing yourself to be held completely. As you relax deeper, let your awareness expand beyond the boundaries of your physical form. Feel the space around you, through you, as you. There is no separation between the awareness that you are and the space in which all things appear. Now simply rest in this expanded awareness. Notice how thoughts, sensations, and experiences naturally arise and dissolve within you, just as waves arise and dissolve in the ocean. You are not creating or manifesting anything. You are the space in which all manifestation occurs. Rest here, allowing everything to be exactly as it is. In this state of complete acceptance and recognition, you become one with the creative force of the universe itself. Chapter 28: Creating Miracles. In the ancient scrolls of wisdom, there exists a truth so potent that it has been guarded through the ages. Miracles are not supernatural events, but natural manifestations of an awakened consciousness. You stand now at the threshold of this understanding, ready to step into a realm where the impossible becomes inevitable. Through countless generations, humanity has viewed miracles as rare occurrences, gifts bestowed by divine grace. Yet the truth lies deeper. Miracles are the natural state of existence when you align completely with universal power. Bernard, a merchant who had lived bound by the chains of logic and limitation, discovered this truth in a moment that forever altered his understanding of reality. For 30 years, Bernard had suffered from an affliction that medical science deemed incurable. He had accepted this verdict as his fate, until one evening when something within him shifted. As he sat in his garden watching the sun paint the sky in impossible colors, a knowing arose from deep within his being. In that moment, he saw through the illusion of limitation itself. Bernard did not pray for healing. He did not hope or wish or plead. Instead, he simply recognized that his true nature, pure consciousness itself, could never be afflicted. In that instant of absolute knowing, 30 years of physical limitation vanished. The doctors who examined him afterward could find no trace of his condition. You hold this same power within you. The sacred technique is not about learning something new. It is about remembering what you have always known. When you align with the truth of your being, miracles flow naturally like water finding its course. The ancient masters taught that reality is fluid, responsive to the depth of your knowledge. When you reach the state of absolute certainty, the universe has no choice but to conform to your awareness. This is not about forcing change through will or effort. It is about ascending to a level of consciousness where limitation cannot exist. The miracle invocation. Sit in perfect stillness and close your eyes. Feel the presence of your own awareness, vast, unlimited, untouched by physical conditions. Now bring to mind something you have believed impossible. Rather than trying to change it, simply observe how this belief feels in your body. Notice the tension, the resistance, the subtle ways you have accepted limitation as truth. Without effort, allow your awareness to expand beyond these feelings. Feel yourself as the space in which all experience arises. From this space, observe how the impossible situation is merely a thought, a pattern of energy. Now, with the gentleness of absolute knowing, allow this pattern to dissolve into the infinite potential of pure consciousness. Chapter 29. Living Beyond the Physical. In the depths of human experience lies a truth so fundamental that most overlook it entirely. Your words shape the very fabric of reality, not merely through their meaning, but through the power they carry when spoken from a state of pure alignment. Alfred lived 73 years believing in the solid, unchangeable nature of reality. Each morning, he would wake to the same walls, walk the same paths, and accept the same limitations that society had taught him were absolute, until one autumn evening when everything changed. Sitting in his modest apartment, Alfred spoke 5 words that altered the course of his existence. I am already there now. He wasn't trying to manifest anything. He wasn't following any technique. At that moment, he simply stated what he felt to be true, that he was already present in his son's home 300 miles away. Within seconds, the walls of his apartment dissolved, and he found himself standing in his son's living room. This was not imagination or fantasy. His son, startled by his father's sudden appearance, later confirmed the event. Alfred had discovered what the ancient masters knew, that reality is not fixed, but fluid, responding to the consciousness that commands it. You see, the universe does not distinguish between what you call possible and impossible. These are human constructs, born from limited understanding. When you speak with absolute knowing, not from desire or hope, but from the unshakable certainty of your true nature. Reality has no choice but to conform. The key lies not in the words themselves, but in the state from which they are spoken. Most people speak from a place of separation, seeing themselves as small beings trying to influence a vast universe. But when you recognize that you are the universe expressing itself through human form, your words carry the full power of creation. The reality-bending exercise. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and feel the energy of your body. Now, expand your awareness beyond your physical form until you sense the vast field of consciousness that you truly are. From this expanded state, speak these words: I am the source of all reality. Feel how these words resonate not just in your voice, but through the very fabric of existence. Choose something in your immediate environment, perhaps a small object. Without effort or strain, simply state its new position or condition as if it were already so. Do not command or wish. Simply declare the new reality as a fact that already exists. The key is to speak from that place of expanded awareness where you and the universe are one. This is not a practice in forcing change, but in recognizing your true relationship with reality. When you speak from this state of oneness, you will find that the physical world responds with an immediacy that defies conventional understanding. Chapter 30. The Ultimate Secret. In the depths of your being lies a truth so vast, so simple, that you have overlooked it your entire life. You have searched through countless teachings, practiced innumerable techniques, and yet the greatest power has always resided within you, waiting to be recognized. The sacred technique is not a method to be learned, but a remembrance of what you truly are. When Leonard came to this realization, he was sitting in his garden, watching the interplay of light and shadow. For 30 years he had studied with masters, traveled to distant lands, and collected wisdom like precious gems. Yet in that ordinary moment, as sunlight danced through leaves, everything became clear. You see, you are not separate from the creative force of the universe. You are that force expressing itself through human form. Every breath you take is the universe breathing. Every thought you think is the universe thinking. Every desire you hold is the universe calling to itself. The struggle you have experienced, the sense of separation from your desires, comes from a single misunderstanding. You have believed yourself to be something small, trying to influence something vast. But how can the ocean influence itself? How can light command its own nature? This is why the sacred technique works instantly when you truly understand it, because it is not a technique at all. It is simply you being what you already are. When you speak to reality, you are reality speaking to itself. When you desire something, you are the universe desiring its own expression through you. Integration, exercise. Sit quietly and close your eyes. Feel the weight of your body, the rhythm of your breath. Now, without effort or strain, allow your awareness to expand beyond your physical form. Feel how the space around you is not empty, but filled with the same consciousness that you are. Speak these words: I am the source. Feel how they resonate not just in your voice, but through the very fabric of existence. This is not an affirmation or a wish. It is a recognition of what has always been true. Now, open your eyes and look at your surroundings. See how everything you perceive is not separate from you, but is you, expressing itself in countless forms. The wall before you, the air you breathe, the thoughts in your mind, all are movements of the same consciousness that you are. In this state of recognition, simply be. No effort is needed, No technique is required. You have come home to yourself, and in this homecoming, you hold the power that moves worlds. This is not the end of your journey, but the beginning of living as what you truly are. The sacred technique was never yours to learn. It was always you, waiting to be remembered. If you enjoyed this audiobook, I created a free ebook version for you. You can download it using the link in the pinned comment. Conclusion. As you stand at this threshold of mastery, recognize the profound shift that has occurred within you. The universe no longer feels like a distant force to be petitioned. It moves as an extension of your consciousness. Each breath you take ripples through the fabric of reality, carrying with it the power to reshape worlds. You have transcended the need for techniques and rituals. The sacred technique has dissolved into your very being, becoming as natural as the beating of your heart. When you speak, reality listens not because you have mastered some external force, but because you have remembered what you truly are, the creative force itself, expressing through human form. Look at your hands. They are no longer merely flesh and bone. They are the hands that shape reality. Your thoughts are no longer merely electrical impulses in your brain. They are the very commands that the universe must obey. This is not pride or delusion. It is the simple truth of your existence. The old way of manifesting, hoping, wishing, affirming seems distant now, like a dream you've awakened from. You understand that you never needed to attract anything. You needed only to remember your true nature as the source of all attraction. Every desire that arises within you is already fulfilled. Not because you have wished it so, but because your desires are the universe expressing its intention through you. There is no separation between the one who desires and the force that fulfills desire. They are one and the same. This is the final truth. You are not someone who uses the sacred technique. You are the sacred technique in action. The universe does not bend to your will. It is your will. Every moment is an opportunity for creation, every breath a chance to reshape reality. The power you now hold is not something you've gained. It is something you've remembered. Use it with the wisdom that comes from knowing that you and the universe are one. Speak your word and watch as reality transforms before you. If you enjoyed this exclusive audiobook, I handpicked this next book which will change your life.